Hi there.
Hello.
Welcome to our little mini video podcast here.
A very, very short podcast.
For many months or years, we have promised you the story of our own lost cross, and this is going to be it. If you guys make it through the end of our incredibly thrilling lost cross story, there is
a special preview of an upcoming lost episode.
So theoretically, you could just fast forward through us yammering and
Yes.
get right to the preview.
Yes, you could. That would be wise.
We highly recommend just that.
One of the things that actually came up last year was some people, certain people were concerned that maybe the crosses that we were having on the show might be exaggerated, didn't really reflect reality.
You know, any number of, we have 1 billion of them. Hurley has the same boss at the chicken shack that Locke had at the box company.
Right.
The people say that would never happen.
Right. But in fact, we ourselves had our own sort of indirect lost cross, which we wanted to tell you guys about today.
And we had proof.
We had proof that these crosses
tangible
actually can
photographic
happen in life.
evidence.
Right.
There is a picture that totally tells the story of our cross.
Right. So this all actually started many, many years ago when I was partnered with a writer named Jeffrey Boehm. And Jeffrey was a big feature writer, and he was the writer at the time of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And
I've heard of that film.
I was working with him, and we were developing this movie, and Jeffrey had become friends with George Lucas, and I was wanting to take my son to Disneyland and his friends, and we work for the Walt Disney Company, but I actually discovered that it isn't as easy to get free tickets to Disneyland as one might think. They're not just saying, oh, you work for Disney, have some free Disneyland tickets. And it's even harder, actually.
That's a lesson we learned later ourselves, but now we're getting ahead of it.
Yes, it is. But so one day, Damon and I were talking about this, and I was figuring out if I was going to be able to get some, access to Disneyland. And I was explaining to him that back when I was partnered with Jeffrey Boehm, Jeffrey had become friends with George Lucas. One time, George Lucas had invited Jeffrey to go to Disneyland with their families together because they had kids that were around the same age. And so Jeffrey and George Lucas went to Disneyland together. And the next day, Jeffrey came back and was incredibly excited. We were sitting down and we were working, and he was explaining that, because it was George Lucas, they not only got free tickets to Disneyland, but they actually got backdoor access to the rides. So they had someone who was literally taking them in the back door, and they didn't have to wait on any lines to go on the rides. And I was thinking, wow, it would be so cool to be George Lucas,
But anyway, as Carlton was telling me this story, I basically said, that is the craziest story, because when I was 14 years old, my father and I came out to Los Angeles for the first time. After years and years of begging him, can we go to LA? Can we go to LA? Can we go to LA? He finally relented and said, all right, we'll go to Los Angeles. Damn it. And we came out here, and the first day we went to Universal Studios, which is very exciting for me. And at the end of it, we were starving. So we went to this place called Tony Roma's. But while we were standing in line, we saw George Lucas.
Really?
He went right to the front of the line, and with his entire family.
Does that man ever wait in a line?
He doesn't. And I said, oh my God, that's George Lucas. And my father, we were so overwhelmed by this because we were such Star Wars fans that we fumbled for our camera, but we were unable to take a picture of him. And he went right to the front of the line at Tony Roma's. And after this, we became even more disheartened, so we left. But the next day, we went to Disneyland. I got on this line for this ride called Star Jets. And lo and behold, I see George Lucas again. He buzzes right by me to the front of the line. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to miss this opportunity twice. So I ran out of the line, got my father in the gift shop, and I said, Lucas just went up the elevator to Starjets. Let us loiter around the exit, so when he comes down, you can take a picture of me, but he'll be in the background, so it won't be like we're the paparazzi, although I didn't use that word because I was 14.
Right.
So lo and behold, I waited at the exit of the ride. Snap, my dad takes the picture, and when I came back to New Jersey, I showed everybody that I knew, hey, look, we saw George Lucas, and everybody was very excited. So I told you this story, and I said, I think I still have that picture somewhere. Let me bring it in. And I brought in the picture for you of me and George Lucas, and you took one look at it, and
I went,
you said,
oh my God, see this guy standing here in this picture that you've had since you were 14 years old? That's Jeffrey Boehm.
So basically we realized that the picture you had told me about how to get into Disneyland and cut lines, I actually had a photograph of that story.
Yes, you told me a story, and I told you a story, and you had a picture of yourself in my story.
Right, there was a photograph of me and George Lucas and Jeffrey Boehm.
That's awesome.
So
there it is.
It would have been cooler if it was you.
Well, exactly.
But if we were writing it for Lost, it would have been you.
Me, exactly. So
that's
there are those kind of near misses and crosses and collisions in life, aren't there?
Every time I tell that story, it just gets lamer.
You took these blood tests, made all the notations. How old are the x-rays?
A week.
The tumor on your spine is borderline inoperable. And at the rate it's growing, that borderline goes away in about 1 week. Oh. The OR we were in, is that fully equipped?
Yes.
Anesthesia? Sterile?
Yes.
You need to be in surgery yesterday.
All right then. Whatever you need, it's yours. I'm ready.
No, I think you misunderstood me. I didn't say I was gonna do it. I just wanted you to understand how you're gonna die. You think I believe you people? You think I trust you, that I'm gonna just do the surgery and hope that you let me go?
Jack, please.
Don't!
Well, Jack, I'm very disappointed in your decision.
Well, Ben, at least you won't have to be disappointed for very long.